The seasons come and go like thoughts of you. Like a wave returns to the sea, into the blue. They change but in a cycle that I can't lose. Each painful but delightful to live through. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season. The seasons turn and change just like your mind. Like the sun gives into the moon, into the night. Time continues marching, it slowly crawls. With each new one starting, I recall. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season. Each time of year carries memories, like a never fading whisper in the breeze. Oh, we will keep on changing all over again. Yeah, we will keep on changing just like another season. Don't want another day without you by my side. Oh, this season. You came
Hello, everybody. We are here on week 7 of Camelot Smite League with Underworld versus Ice Age Arthur division this time. We've made our way to the final division of, of Camelot this weekend. My name is Halanu, back here with Dr. Shrew, who will be spectating and helping me out with the cast a little bit. Big shout out to Shrew. How's your day been? Absolutely. We get going right away with the Aphrodite ban out of Underworld. A little surprised to see them banning it just because they are first. Want to, don't want to play it, don't want to ban it, or don't want to play against it. Get rid of it. Sure. Why not? We do see the Thor band coming out as well. Time to take a look at Jinxed Godpool here, along with the Agni. Big fan of the Agni fan. I've been preaching all day that I think that character is ridiculously good on this patch. Zarzeth plays it very well. Not surprised to see it taken away here. Expecting to see a lot of bands probably heading the way of Jinx on Underworld. In my opinion, has probably been their best player this season. Would not be surprised to see more bands heading his way. He really likes the Kleena and Dodgy, or some of the things that come up to mind for me. Will be the Ao Kwang band. Also still aiming at Jinx. Not the direction I was thinking, but still a jungle band. We do see the Guan Yu band come in as well. That character is just not fun to deal with right now. His one giving cooldown reduction to his whole team is so strong. We've even seen him a touch in support, but obviously a very strong solo laner right now. And we see the Kleena band away as well. Don't want Jinx to get his hands on that. No big surprises there. We see the Hercules hovered and then locked in. Another not super surprising pick. Hercules and Guan have seems like they've settled into the top 2 solo laners right now, at least in the upper divisions. Not surprised to see with the Guan band that Hercules is immediately picked up. Is leaving the Hell and the Yamoja open. We'll be curious to see if Tatri decides he wants either of those picks, as well as Skizzy. Skizzy on Ice Age is also a Hell player, but Ice Age is not going to give them a chance and take away the Hell. Along with the Ishtar, absolutely love that. I think Ishtar is probably back to being the best hunter. Has so much pressure in lane, utilizes that crit build very well, has good CC in fights. Can't complain about Ishtar prioritization.
It seems like a really good dual lane, just straight off the bat between the Hell and the Ishtar. Going to bring a lot uh, for the Ice Age squad. Assuming it is a Hell support, I guess it could be Hell mid.
I expect to see it go support. I don't remember off the top of my head if Zarzeth plays the Hell or not. I feel like she does. I'm not 100% sure, but do expect it to go support. I think most people have decided that Hell is a support now and not so much of a mid. Outside of, maybe some people that specifically really like that pick in mid. But expect it to see go support more often than it goes mid. Yamoja notably still up for Underworld, but it is going to be the Maui hover instead. Can be a decent way to deal with Hell. Hell doesn't, cleanses the hook, but the ult can be pretty good about displacing the Hell and putting her in a rough spot. As well as the Cernanos picked up. Little bit surprised to see it into Hell. The Hell cleanse is just really good against Cern ult. It kind of makes him not have an ultimate as long as that cleanse is up, but does do pretty well against the Ishtar in lane. Can have some potential solo kill pressure in that lane. And really just trying to keep up with clear against the Ishtar. Not a lot of characters do it well. Cern still doesn't, but he does better than some of these other EDCs.
And that is a Surtur lock in, not a second Ishtar, but
Second Ishtar. Like the Tutor, potentially a little bit worried that Ice Age could be lacking Engage. with that pick. They suitor, either has to ult in to start fights, which then leaves your suitor without ult in the middle of everybody, which can be a little bit scary. Hell obviously struggles to engage herself, so probably going to be looking for some form of initiation jungler from Griff coming out. In my mind, I team with Griff in AGL. He is my jungler over there. Expecting to see him go towards either the Dodgy or the Hunbats here. Tends to be kind of his go-to initiation picks, along with potentially a Lancelot. He really likes all three of those picks, and all three of those can do the initiation for this Ice Age
I'll tell you,
squad.
it's not going to be a Lancelot.
It won't be a Lancelot. It's taken away. It is a pick that both junglers play. Not a whole lot of Lancelot players around, but Jinx and Griff are both Lancelot players. The Terror taken away, which means the Hunbats and the Dodgy will make it through. They might end up just holding Griff's pick here. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them go towards their mid laner here first, but decide to just take the Hunbats away. It's a comfort pick for Griff. It gives them the initiation that I think they needed pretty badly, so really like that pick.
Yeah, it definitely brings a ton of initiation. I mean, Fear No Evil is good from the moment you get it at level 5 to like a 40-minute team fight. Everybody's level 20. It just brings able to burn beads and set up for so much for your team. I think it's a really good pick, and it does fill that hole of initiation you were talking about.
Yeah, not surprised to see that. Yeah, comfort pick for most junglers realistically, but especially Griff. So do you see the Ravana Hovered? Be an interesting pick. A pick that we saw earlier today, not doing particularly well, but is good into Ishtar, can be pretty good into the Humbats if you're able to overhead kick that ult. And we see a Chang'e locked in. Not something I was expecting to see per se. It is a comfort pick for Skizzy. They really like this pick, but I think Chang'e struggles a little bit in the meta right now. Is a very good character if Chang'e is allowed to blink ult. If she's allowed to go forwards and blink ult the backline, she feels great. The second you have to try and defend your base with a Chang'e, she feels absolutely horrible because she has essentially no range. Can't clear the wave safely. Really doesn't threaten backline without that blink. So it will be interesting to see if Underworld can snowball this hard enough that the Chang'e feels good. No, absolutely no surprises. Zarza picks her Tiamat is undeniably the best Tiamat player in the league. She loves this pick. She loved this pick before it was necessarily good. Not surprised at all to see it Tiamat coming out from Zarza. Actually, kind of shocking it didn't get banned. Thinking about it, but it is not a secret that Zarza loves this Tiamat and is very, very good at it. So happy that she gets to play it, if nothing else, because she is far happier when she gets to play Tiamat than basically anything else.
It looks like we do have subs for Underworld, though, as now that I have a second to look at it. Draco being pulled up from the Merlin game, just having finished, as well as is Ankh a sub, or I feel like you mentioned
it is a Arthur sub, but it is not. It is one of their subs. Yes.
Okay. Both of them are indeed in this game, as I'll get it switched over.
Good. Yeah, wasn't able to get a chance to see who was actually in this game, but we will all find out together very soon. Alright, so looking at team comps here, who do you think got the better end of this draft?
I think I gotta go with Underworld. I really like the comp that they have set up here so far. I think it's I don't know, I feel like it's in a pretty good spot.
Sure. Both to play devil's advocate and just because I like Ice Age's draft. I think I'm gonna go with Ice Age here. Really think this Humbats could cause a lot of problems for Ice Age. Also, not a big believer in Chang'e right now. I've played her myself a little bit recently, trying to see if it's possible. I'm sure it's possible, but does not feel good if you are not on the front foot with that character. So it's gonna be really important for Underworld to make sure that, that Chang'e is not able to consistently find blink ults into the backline. But even if she does, both Ishtar and Tiamat have pretty good ways with dealing with a Chang'e right in her face. I mean, Tiamat, when she jumps, is going to get all those mitigations from her passive. Ishtar also generally is just going to send that ult and then dash out and buy a lot of space. The damage from Chang'e is no joke late game, but it'll be interesting to see how Skizzy's able to pilot this. I know it's a comfort pick for them, something that they've been pretty successful on when they have gotten it. So, interested to see how Ice Age decides to play against it. Also, quick note that the team names at the top are flipped. We apologize. It was a little bit of a rushed setup as we got in here. Ice Age is indeed the team on the on the Chaos side, and Order team is your Underworld. Make sure that gets taken care of for game 2, but we're just gonna rock with it right now because it is just the two of us. So. Looking at starters, we do see Conduit Gem coming out of both mid laners. Along with that, Lost Artifact 1 start will be interesting to see if they choose to go Doom Orb or Chronos Pendant. Expect probably to see Chronos Pendant on the Tiamat and probably see Doom Orb on the Chang'e, but honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 Chronos Pendants. It's not my favorite build in the world, but is what both mid laners are going to choose to go here. See Benevolence coming out from both supports here with that cloak start, so no difference. There should be 2 Prosthetics, 2 Shells as well, so literally the same build from both supports. Do see Warrior's Axe coming out from the solo laners as well, but see a Thunder coming out of the Hercules rather than that teleport. Could potentially be trying to fight back into the pressure that Suitor normally has. Out of the jungle, see Blink on both junglers, nothing too exciting there. As we do see First Blood falling the way of the Chang'e. Didn't quite catch what happened there, but quick First Blood onto the Tiamat, perhaps not realizing how close Jinx was. He didn't actually even use his Blink. So not entirely sure how the Tiamat fell down there. Probably just a miscommunication between Tia and the Han Bat. But will be First Blood going the way of the Chang'e, which has got to feel really good for Chang'e.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you were talking about how Chang'e from the back foot doesn't necessarily feel the best, and being able to get that extra bounce here right at the beginning is definitely going to help them not be on that back foot.
You see both ADCs going Leather Cowl, which I think once it's accurately working, I think that item would be great. Unfortunately, the passive of the upgrade is not working right now, I believe. I believe it's not giving the correct amount of attack speed or lifesteal. Doesn't seem like these hunters are aware of that. I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of that, honestly, currently.
Oh yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, Cowl, I think, is in a good spot, and so when it's giving the proper stats. I don't believe it is giving those currently. Slightly unfortunate. You see that coming out rather than Deathstone, which I much prefer to avoid Deathstone. It's pretty heavy. You see the Doom Orb, the Chang'e. Not surprising. Character likes speed, likes power. That Doom Orb surely gives both. It's to see a level and a half lead for the Chang'e over the Tiamat. It's a little bit scary there. Tia should take over the level 4 here off the red buff, but gonna have to be careful in that mid lane. That's a Chang'e with a lead can be really scary.
Like, Protect buff will go the way of this Chaos team for the moment. Definitely getting a little bit more of the pressure when it mattered. They were held under the tower for a bit there, but once there was farm, they managed to push back up and get that neutral for themselves.
Definitely, and Hercules was able to secure his blue buff, but is definitely getting out traded in this lane. Had to take a fairly early back there. Does not have the teleport, so yeah, will make his way back to lane, but not particularly quickly. I do think that Sunder's an interesting idea. Yeah, as we see him, should assume going towards a segment in that first item. Suitor looks like he is also going to the same build. Nothing too surprising, but does mean that neither of them are going to be tanky early, so open to some ganks from the junglers, and neither of them going beat as well. Could open up some gank opportunities for the junglers down the road. Especially Fear No Evil, it can be hard to Hercules ult the entirety of it. You pretty much have to time it perfectly to not get it at all. Suitor ult, obviously, it's quite easier to get that off against the Ratans. Double Thunder does force the ult out of Villain. He's going in with that ult. Good push-pull. So tanky. Double tap from the Hercules. Suitor could be in trouble here. Off the mark, and the good stun from the Suitor should be the end of that. So they both stay here. Definitely could get dicey over there. Merlin team not scared to fight. Good. Ishtar ult is the Hun Bat's ult finds it. One more auto onto Kolobsky. Should be the end of him, and it is. You see Gaudo Griff getting on the board with the Han Bat's ult. Really good combo with the Ishtar ult. Kolobsky does hold on to his beads, but ends up falling down for it, so yeah, maybe could have used those beads, but we'll at least have them for the next time that rotation of abilities comes around. But did have his Jotun's Wrath when he sent that ult, so should be up pretty soon. Nothing unusual with the CDR rush. Does look like Skizzy's gonna sit on tier 2 of Doom Orb and go into that fight. Interesting. Not something I've seen a whole lot of recently. There's such a difference in power between tier 2 of Doom Orb and tier 3. It's like 100 more power. Little surprised to not see that finished, especially when the expensive part of that rush is that tier 2 of Doom Orb is expensive. So surprised to see the 2-2 build and then avoiding the tier 3. I guess wanting that pen right away. See the hell damage. Pretty tanky, but doesn't have beats. Good Chang'e ult will kill Tatri. He's got that prosthetic, but only 4 stacks on it. Not that tanky right now.
And the Chang'e definitely does damage. That was a lot coming through onto Tatri's health. Like out of nowhere. Once the ult landed, she just kind of got blown up.
Absolutely. I understand wanting to get in people's face with the Hell. She does, all of her damage is up front, but also gotta realize that you're still a mage. You're just not that tanky yet. Do you see Tiamat getting some decent poke here out onto the Maui? Was the Chronos Pendant first item from Tiamat? Nothing too unusual. I'll be interested to see if the TF still chooses to go tablet or if they just go to pen. This was that Chronos Pendant tablet build that was pretty popular before this update. Not entirely sure how Zara is feeling about the Tiamat builds at this point. Do you see the Spear of Deso from the Chang'e? Glad to finally see that item built. There's a little bit of a lack of that item earlier. I do just think it's really strong. But glad to see that's getting picked up. So, all things considered, Underworld is actually slightly ahead, even though the Chang'e is 2 levels up. This is like the Solar is just getting a little bit of a better end of the trades over the solo lane. See that's what most of that lead is. Chang'e is just hunting this hell. Pretty much guaranteed death here. Yeah. Overkill. The Maui's there. Picks up that kill onto the hell. Gonna have to start hanging out with her teammates a little bit more, I think, because it's clear that they are not afraid to just ult the hell.
No evil used for the red buff secure.
His use of the red buff does secure it, potentially also just to try and make sure he gets out alive there without, you know, potentially a Maui ult hitting him or something. If his jump was already down, that could be kind of scary. So, he has 25% cooldown, so don't hate it. Probably, you know, not what he's planning on doing. Let's put it that way, but not gonna feel the worst for him. We do see Chonko is just refusing to finish her default, which I don't really like. I kind of understood finishing the Ezo. That doesn't seem too outrageous to me, but not finishing at this point, it's just so much extra power. Really kind of surprised to see it not finish.
I completely agree. Getting the flat pin online, I understand if you want that, because it seems like Skizzy's really wanting to get aggressive and fight more often. But once you have that done, I don't understand why you don't upgrade it.
Yeah, Zombie Billy Mays finding to clean the solo kill onto Ankh. The Merlin pickup, or not pickup, call it. Those fall down. I said, with them both going towards healing, they're both pretty squishy. And we do see that the Suitor's now just pulling up the lead. Probably gonna be a little bit scary. Yeah, see the Sekhmet's coming out there. It is health and it is some cooldown in MP5. But yeah, the stats are pretty similar on both. But no physical defense on either of those items. So he's going to be doing some damage. It's like Jinx takes out Crowned Hound, but Griff returns a kill onto Kolobsky. Not going to hit. Oh! Monkey Bounce does end up going to Jinx, and he falls down. Really surprised that the Rana stayed stuck around there, and now this Hunbats has pulled a 2-level lead over Jinx as well.
Yeah, that was almost felt like a lack of respect, just backing when you're in range of the Sacred Monkey Toss. Paid the price for it.
Yeah, a little bit surprised he chose to play that way. Is Tiamat solos back the Chang'e. That's a huge kill for the Tiamat. She's happily bounces her way back to the tower. Gotta be feeling pretty good about that one after Chang'e found those 2 early kills. Able to turn one back around. Do you see the prop buff falling the weight of the Cernanos? A little bit surprised that he seems like he's getting the better. I mean, neither of them have had a great time in lane, but it's, you know, mostly been jungle presence, not so much for the actual ADCs themselves doing here. Hercules is proxying. Or sorry, not Hercules proxying. Super proxying. He's been forced into the ult. Probably worth Jinx time just to slow down some of that pressure that the Suitor has managed to collect already. It looks like he's going attack speed Suitor. Not something I've seen, but he went the Vital Amplifier, not the Sekhmets, into the Berserker Shield. That's an interesting style of Suitor build. Honestly, it doesn't seem bad, just not something I've seen. Lana, kind of look at the Tiamat here. Has jungle, shoots not. Oh, the Crowned Hound does find Kolobsky. Not good, chase out. The Hunbats gets slowed down. Really good heal from Crowned Hound to be the way of damage. And Griff dumps the ult and gets out. Now he's now sitting 3-0 on this Hunbats. And didn't have to use the link either. Pretty good there. Hercules has rotated early, looking like they maybe were concerned that the Gold Fury was going to get pulled there. Underworld, or sorry, Ice Age didn't have much of an interest in actually pulling it. This Hercules just gonna fall further and further behind the longer he sits over here while Suitor now starting to rotate, farmed a couple extra waves before he came. Ice Age, or Underworld trying to force this before the Suitor can make his way. He's getting close. To get in here as the Gold Fury falls, and Underworld confirms the Gold Fury. That's going to mess me up this game and maybe back. Underworld gets the Gold Fury and face out. Chonka gets out. The Gold Fury falling down. It's these two members, potentially more, the entirety of Ice Age diving tower. But Chonka does not fall down, actually manages to turn a kill onto the Hun Bats. Does eventually fall down along with Jinxed, so leave a 3 for 2 at the end of the day, favoring they got the gold here. Zarzith picks up one more, sails a little bit back onto Ice Age's favor. Do you think they probably could have gone towards that Pyromancer, but instead pushed down the T1 over in duo lane? And now it looks like Underworld is actually going to push this Pyromancer, realizing that Ice Age spent a really long time over in duo. This Pyromancer should go down free unless Griff is able to smell it out, but will not get there in time. Going to fall down to Underworld. The Thurn coming over nice and early to get that Pyromancer done, realizing that Ice Age just spent a little bit too long on duo side.
I was trying to switch the names at the top, but the program does not like me, so.
It is okay. I will just have to remember that the announcement is flipped. You know, it'll be fine. It's your third set of the day. We'll cut you a little bit of slack on maybe having your brain be fried just a little bit.
I appreciate that.
Looking back at builds, do you see the Bladed Boomerang coming out for both ADCs along with that Bloodforge? I assume continuing on into that Demon Blade for both of them as well. You see the Lotus Sickle coming out of the Hell. That item is rather good, especially on characters like Hell. See the Thebes coming out from the Maui instead, so he will be generally quite a bit tankier than this Hell, though. It does appear he's quite a bit ahead. On stacks. The Hell has 13 stacks, while the Maui's only at 4, so might need to see to go searching for those stacks just a bit more often. So, looking at the mid laners, we got 2 more completed for both of them finally, along with a double flat pen as Griff finds a kill onto Bobsky. Forces beats Aegis as well, so good kill for Griff. Does retreat his beads as well, but going to favor having beats Aegis down on the ADC almost all the time. Might be trying to collapse on the Maui here. Ice Age is deep into the jungle of Underworld. Landfall does not find a home. Ice Age had left. Does not appear that Draco was on the same page. He thought they was getting chased. Unfortunately, that ult's going to be down for quite a bit of time now. It's Gold Fury coming up relatively soon. It's actually a pretty important cooldown to not be available for this Gold Fury fight. Duder is 3 levels ahead, which is really scary at this point. Is finally seeing some of that magic defense to deal with the damage that Skizzy has been able to do on this Chonka. Imagine whenever that suitor rotates in, fights are going to favor Ice Age pretty heavily. Bloodforge can Jinx here as well, deciding not to go for Sentinel, crush that kind of straight power and flat pen. This Ice Age picks up the Oni Fury relatively uncontested there. Pyro not OP yet, so should be control of both objectives for Ice Age here. So they hold about a 5,000 gold lead. Not quite completely out of control yet, but bordering on that scary margin. Usually it's the 6,000-7,000 gold mark that starts to become pretty hard to fight back in at this level. Ducey go grouping up for the Fire Giant. They might not even wait for the Pyro. They might just go straight for fire. take a look at the player damage here. It is all coming up Ice Age on the player damage. 4 of them at the top of the chart before the next Underworld player. Oh no, that's a mistake we should avoid saying anyway. Fire Giant pulled by Ice Age is down to a 3rd HP. Tiamat is zoning away. Underworld just doing so much damage. But Underworld steals the Fire Giant. I don't know what stole there.
Must have been the Hurt Boulder.
I guess Hurt Boulder is too good, but 2 members of Underworld fall for it. Looks like everyone else should get out okay. This whole time, Klopski's been pushing. He's gonna get a T2 here, though. It does look like Ice Age want to take this tier 2 and right in return for the tier 2 and left that Klopski's pretty much getting for free here. Oh, it looks like the suitor did teleport over to save that tower. Like that play. Don't let the serve get all that farm for free. And the tier 2 on right does fall down for Ice Age, so good play by the Herc, I guess, if that was what stole it. It must have been. I think you're right. I don't know what else could have.
It looked like the only real thing. It's a definite boon to help them try to get back into this game, though. Being able to, even if they can't get aggressive with that Fire Giant, just to strip the aggression away from what Ice Age can do.
Absolutely. Ice Age was able to take the Pyromancer there, but even then with the fire going down, gold lead shrinks back down to about 4,000 rather than the almost 6,000 it was before. So, not the end of the world here for, not the end of the world for the Underworld squad here. Do have Fire Giant on 3 members, don't have it on your mid or support. Not that, I don't think there's any world that they use this Fire Giant to push. I think they're probably just gonna get their farm here, then have an advantage on the Gold Fury fight. That should break out here soon. Going back to build, it looks like it's gonna be a bubble from the hell. A little bit surprised to see that come. I guess there's really not a great way for Ice Age to burn that bubble, so maybe actually kind of smart here. And potentially the same thing coming out for the Maui, though I think that's probably more likely to be the case here.
Looks like Skizzy's going for the mirror then after the Divine Mirror. How do you feel about that?
It's really good on Drago. I think it's probably the only character that we see a huge Fear No Evil that gets should get some out of danger after a really good landfall chunk. That one's just been erased from this fight though. No ult to fight back. The damage coming from Crowned Hound is crazy at this point, along with the Tiamat. So much damage. Tiamat 5k above anyone else in the game. So that's showing why most teams are not willing to give her this Tiamat. Fire Giant or no Fire Giant, Ice Age is not determined. This mid-bird will just fall absolutely for free.
No way that Skizzy and Ankh can step up to that Phoenix with it just being the 2 of them at that moment.
No, especially, no range on the Chang'e comes back. This is the point of the game where Chang'e starts to feel really bad. She just has no way to defend these Phoenixes. And she's so reliant on that blink ult to do her damage. When she has it up, she's a threat, but if you know she doesn't have ult or you know she doesn't have blink, she's really not scary. Does finish the mirrored enemy. Yeah, brought up slightly before that fight. I do like it on Chang'e. She might be the only character that really needs that fight up right now. But her whole identity is just that blink ult. So Bearden going to do the max possible damage on that blink ult engage. I mean, truly, you are just trying to one-shot a backline with that character. Once you blink ult, you're dead. But if you burn a couple big sets of beads and you kill a mid laner, you kill an ADC, then usually you just win the fight, even though you might be dead. So understand the build path. I think it's kind of what Chang'e has to build with this. I think Chang'e struggles a little bit in team fights right now of how the meta is. You see the Gem of Focus finished from that Tiamat, who's already doing so much damage, just going to do more. Starters finished almost across the board, actually, for Ice Age here. Only Zombie Billy Mays has not finished up his starter. As there's no starters finished on the side of Underworld, going to make this Fire Giant fight very, very hard to fight into.
Onk does have boulders. See if he can't get another steal onto this Fire Giant, but it looks like there's a little bit better zoning going on.
Ice Age does take down the Fire Giant. Zombie Billy Mays is in there. Really good reaction time on the Suitor ult. Immunes the Chunga ult. Forces the blink away. So it looks like we have a pause coming out.
Either a pause or my computer has died.
I'm hoping it's a pause. I'm assuming somebody must have DC'd because this is an unfortunate time to pause. Perhaps just spectator issues. It looks like the fight's continuing pretty normally here. Draco will fall down. And looks like Jinx is in danger of falling as well. Will go down, but the health bars on Ice Age are pretty low. Rift and Billy Mays pretty poked out. Trying to take down this Hercules. 1 HP and a dream bowl from Tiamat will be enough. Billy Mays also on 1 HP, but gonna be just fine here. So, looks like mid Phoenix already down, right Phoenix down. Looks like they might just be trying to look for an end here. Draco is responding. He does have the landfall, which would be a touch scary. No beads available for the ADC. They say big landfall does connect, but Fear No Evil will stop any follow-up. Chunga doesn't have ult. Trying to do everything they can to stop this. Ice Age going to take down Titan for a Game 1 victory.
That was just clean all the way through from Ice Age and not Underworld because the spectator is wrong. It just
is Ice Age winning. Yes, not Underworld. We apologize for that. We'll get it fixed for game 2. But yeah, I think what I was afraid of on the desk came true. Chunga, if as soon as that character falls behind, does not have a good time. Looked great early. Was 2-0 to start the game, and then just kind of lost momentum as Chunga sometimes tends to do. You just see the Tiamat doing 22,000 damage, good 7,000 more than anybody else in the game. Surely Underworld has learned to not give Zarzif Tiamat. I thought we all got that memo, like 3 years ago, that you don't get Zarzif Tiamat ever, regardless of the meta. But Underworld, apparently, needed a little reminder.
Yeah, well, I would say that they are very well reminded now. That was so much damage coming out of the Tiamat, just making every team fight shift in their favor the whole time.
Definitely, lots of good stat lines coming out from the Ice Age team. 6-1-3 on the ADC, 6-1-5 on the Hunbots, and 3-0-7 from the Suitor. All things clicking for the Ice Age team. We're going to jump to a quick break here and see if Underworld's able to pull out a Game 2 victory here to keep their set alive.
Digital breeze from cybernet seas. We may not make it out of the bay. Just unwind, it doesn't matter anyway. Try not to freeze or throw away the keys. The predator is now the prey. Things could be different. Things could be alright. Things could be innocent.
Alrighty, welcome back to Game 2 between Ice Age and Underworld. We have gotten the teams on the right side. We are doing great. My name is Alani with Dr. Shrew on the spectate and a little bit of a co-cast pulling double duty once again. Alright, we saw Ice Age with a pretty clean victory in Game 1. Does look like the stream is getting your Smite client, Shrew, and not the overlay.
It probably is. Yep. Thank you.
We'll get that taken care of real quick. So we do see the Terra, Thor, Kleena, Afro, Tiamat, and Ao Kwang taken away. All pretty normal, barring the Tiamat, but after game 1, not surprised to see the Tiamat taken away. Zarzif just isn't allowed to have that character. We do see the Hell first pick coming back out. Assume that will be Tatri on the Hell once again. Had some struggles early game, got picked a couple times, but once they got rolling in those team fights, seemed like the Hell was doing exactly what you wanted it to. I think they ended that game with something like 13,000 player healing, which is just hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And Underworld hovering the Hercules Ishtar are gonna run back that Hercules. Didn't feel like he had the best time on it in game 1, but feels, I mean, did have a good Fire Giant steal, so maybe just thinking that it wasn't the pick, it was just execution, and just run it back. Ishtar, love the Ishtar. Ishtar's good. Big fan, as we see another Hell. See the suitor locked in again for Zombie Billy Mays. I mean, he did great on it game 1. Why not? And you see the Humbats as well. Just run back the comp. Obviously not going to have the Tiamat this time, but hey, the core of that comp works so well, why not?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Zombie Billy Mays had pressure so early on against the Hercules. I see no reason why you wouldn't go back to that, as he, especially once he started rotating, he just brought so much added pressure and kill potential all these fights.
Absolutely. Thought it looked really well. Gonna see what Underworld picks here. Really want to see them go away from that Chunga. I just don't think it was finding that value late game. Like to see Skizzy on something more traditional here. The Agni's notably still out, Morgan Le Fay as well. Even stuff like the Merlin, what was been kind of meta, still up. Does gonna be an Athena hover and an Athena lock. Gonna a little bit curious to see that against the Hell once again. I feel like as long as Hell is in her light stance, should be pretty easy to just cleanse Athena taunt. Very, predictable CC. Athena has to dash in and taunt. It's not, you're not gonna get caught surprised by Athena taunt that often.
Yeah. Do you think, are you fairly confident this is Athena support and not Athena jungle?
I don't think I have seen Jinx play Athena jungle. It doesn't strike me as a Jinx style of god. I've known Jinx for quite a while now, and I don't recall seeing him on this Athena jungle. So my bet is no. My bet is this is going to support. Do you see the Rama and the Yamoja taken away? Was a little surprised we hadn't seen Yamoja prioritized at all, but we'll get a pick, or not a pick here, a ban here. And the Agni taken away from Zarzef, trying to limit a little bit of what she's able to do this set after the dominant game 1 out of the Tiamat. Want to make sure she's on something a little bit less of a priority. Odin taken away as well, realizing that your Hell and your Suitor probably do not enjoy being stuck inside an Odin cage, along with not a whole lot of mid laners that are being played right now that love the Odin cage. Really just Merlin left on the table of characters that get out of that cage easily. So
Interesting though, since they have the Athena Hercules, that they banned that a support and a solo lane. Maybe thinking that the
Yeah,
Athena
I
could
gotta
go jungle?
maybe yeah. I didn't really think about that. I guess concerned that it is an Athena jungle. Maybe Jinx has been practicing something that I just don't recall seeing. I do like the Raw pick, especially with Athena. If you are going to go Athena, Raw has gotten a lot better with these itemization changes. Uh, Along with his heal is just so good now. The amount of power and prots you get inside that healing aura, along with obviously just the healing. I think Ra is in a very good spot. Really loves those flat pen Doom Orb Tahuti builds that are popular right now. Cupid? Hovered by Ice Age. Would be a touch surprised if this actually gets locked in. Just don't think Cupid's in a great spot right now. Can kind of struggle to clear the wave. And as I mentioned earlier, I think in our Lancelot set, that unless you center his ult, character's gonna kind of walk out of it. It's also not good against Ra. Ra has that slow cleanse on his 2. Just kind of walks out of Cupid ult for free, so would really just be using it on Ishtar, who also just kind of ults and forces your beads. So would be surprised if this actually gets locked in, but maybe they're thinking something I'm not. Did you see the Poseidon hovered? This is actually Zarzeth's most played character. Poseidon has not been meta in a very long time, so haven't seen it, but Zarzeth wants it. It is a character that she plays a lot, but not something we've seen a whole lot of until this last patch. But gonna lock it in. Trying to lock down this Raw with some Krakens could be pretty good. Along with the Cupid. Don't love the Cupid pick, but it does add another potential way, some more potential CC. As the Kali is hovered and locked in by Jinx. That's a Jinx pick. He loves this character. Think it could do rather well into Ice Age 2. Really don't have a whole lot of ways to stop Kali's dive. I mean, Hell can heal, but she's not going to out heal Kali damage. Kraken obviously isn't going to do a whole lot to the Kali, assuming that she's able to pop that ult beforehand. Could be hard to deal with Jinx's Kali here. Fortunately, might fall on Griff a decent amount of the time to try and peel for his backline with that Fear No Evil. I like the comp that Underworld has gotten this time around much better than I liked Game 1. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like it a lot too. I feel like you talked about the Raw for a bit, and I agree wholeheartedly. I think Raw feels really good right now in the current patch. As you said, the prots and everything he gives from his heal on top of just healing feel great. His one, like always, can just clear the wave on its own, so you're free to roam quicker as you can do that. And then when the Searing Pain, his ultimate, got that true damage added into it. And I mean, it was already so much damage whenever he got a couple items on. Just adding in true damage makes it even more intense what he's able to do. I think I'd gotta lean towards Underworld's draft, especially if they can make it late and let this Kali have a chance to pop off.
Yeah, I really think that Ice Age got a good draft up until the Cupid. The Cupid is giving me a lot of question marks. Do you think there's potential for this Hell to just completely shut down what Underworld wants to do? If she's able to consistently find those quick cleanses against Athena, it'd be pretty hard for Ra to actually consistently land his combo. Can always obviously just aim it at where they are and not where the taunt is going to take them, assuming that they're going to beat. But it does then become kind of a mind game between the Ra and the opponents instead of a guaranteed just taunt ult kill. Makes the execution a little bit harder.
Definitely.
If the Merlin's on point with these. No, the Hell is on point with these cleanses.
I think it'll be interesting once we get to like the objective phase of this game, because at first I was thinking this definitely went Underworld's way in that regard, because they have the Raw, they have Searing Pain, such a good secure for Gold Furies and Fire Giants and stuff. But with Zarksith picking up this Poseidon, Kraken is an extremely good secure as well. And so it's gonna, I mean, do you think that'll turn it back into like a 50-50 because they both have such strong secures, or is one of them a bit better than the other?
If Ice Age is the team pulling, I think it turns into just a straight 50-50. Kraken, you have to be a little bit closer than Raw Ult. Raw Ult has much better steal potential than the Kraken does. You do have to get relatively close to Kraken in an objective. It's a lot easier to stop the Poseidon from getting in that range than it is to stop Raw from getting in range. If the game's in an even state, it's a coin flip. Raw ult hits really hard. Poseidon ult hits really hard. Yeah, it becomes a coin flip. So, would be surprised if either team is trying to coin flip objectives, especially if they're ahead. I feel like it's much more likely that they try and look for the fights over the objective secure, unless, obviously, one of the mid laners ults are down or something of that nature. Get loaded into game here shortly. Do you think it's interesting to see the Hercules ran back? Didn't seem like it had the best of times in that first game. It is going to be the same exact lane matchup. Potentially see him just not go for that early Sunder. Don't think that Sunder on Herc is bad, but choosing not to go either a defensive relic or teleport, I think once that lane starts going badly, really hinders your ability to catch back up in that lane.
Well, it seems like we won't have to worry about the team names being incorrect because overlay is not working, so we just have blue team and red team.
Beautiful.
But we know, obviously, which one is which.
Yeah, looking at the mid lane build, surely it's Raw solo. Somebody out there is excited that there might have been a Raw solo for about 2 seconds. Do you see the conduit gem coming out of both mid laners again? Little bit surprised. I mean, Poseidon uses Gem of Focus pretty well. More surprised to see it on the Raw. Don't imagine we see Arc Gems right now. I feel like that item is not great right now. Unfortunately, the proc just doesn't hit super hard. Really wish they would buff that item so that it was actually buildable, but don't think it's quite there yet. Imagine this will probably be double Doom Orb again. Both of these characters really like that movement speed. Looking at support builds, same exact thing. They do see an Ankh early out of Tatri. Wanting to be able to shut down this raw heal. It's also good against Kali ult. Sometimes something that's perhaps underutilized is how good Anking a Kali can be. So even if she gets that kill, doesn't get that big heal, especially with the heal on her on her kills getting nerfed. When she gets onked, shouldn't heal for a whole lot, even if she does kill her targets. So don't know if I necessarily love seeing the onk first. I think that could potentially make the hell kind of susceptible to early game spills again, not a med and a shell, but will be very good come late game to have that onk.
Yeah, and we see a different take on the Hercules build this game, going for that Golden Blade instead with the horrific. Yeah.
Do you see the Golden Blade Herc? I think is probably better than Segments.
I agree.
You can potentially go. It's interesting that they went Axe with it. Usually we see Golden Blade Sigil on Hercules trying to still be tanky late game. Won't be quite as tanky going with the Warrior's Axe. We'll have a little bit more sustain and we'll have some more damage late game. Won't be as tanky as you would with that Sigil. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out. Don't love the horrific. Really don't love that. You lost lane pretty hard game one. Don't quite understand the logic of going with another aggressive relic. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe he gets a stick horrific off and just stole the zombie Billy Mason for that. But until proven otherwise, don't love it. Yeah, he is not winning that lane. He is about 50% HP lower. Jinx is going to force the beads out of Poseidon. It's going to be another first blood going again. Zarth not expecting the damage out of not having a dash on that Poseidon. We did see Zarth fall down for first blood last game and then drop 22,000 damage, so maybe it doesn't matter, but still definitely a plus for Kali to get that first blood.
Oh yeah, Kali's such a late game god. Being able to get that first blood bounty and get a little head start on that build is definitely going to feel good for Underworld.
Yeah, definitely going to feel good. Probably better for it to fall onto the Kali than the Ra. Ra can bully potentially, but he has to get up in your face to bully, which can leave him a little bit susceptible to ganks. The Cupid lane has pressure. I don't understand that one. I guess Hell Clear really just is that good, I guess. They do have actually quite a bit of pressure over Ishtar. Obviously Athena's clear is not the best, but invade from the suitor doesn't look like he's going to get it. Looks like Griff decided to get his make sure his soul laner got a blue buff, and then just go for that invade. The blink in from Griff, the up down onto the Kali, but he has been caught out. Good jump out. Raw ult hits, should be dead here. Blink still available from Jinx. The Kali is now 2-0. Aggressive, a really aggressive play from the Humbats. Can't say I love it. Yeah, it's a little bit overzealous there. Kali's not good early, but she's not horrible, especially if that mace build does have, you know, an okay amount of power.
I was about to say that, you know, it looks like Billy Mays did get well, he just got a kill. He got a small on the blue buff, and so I was going to say it was worth it because they didn't lose anything, and then they ended up losing the Hunbat. But at least he was able to turn around and get a solo kill onto Ankh there by the end of it.
Yeah, the whole horrific thing, once again, not looking great. He used the horrific there. It shockingly did not save his life. He still died. Oh, yeah. I feel like that has to feel horrible, horrific in lane. I understand that you're playing Hercules and want to try and solo the opponent, but just I don't think Suitor is the character to do it into. I think Suitor's lane is just too good. So the beads forced out again on the side and deciding to play quite carefully for the next few minutes here. Ra just able to freely farm up the mid camps while Poseidon has to take it back to base. He's the Chronos pendant out of the Poseidon, but Cupid's in trouble. Good beats. Does buy him quite a bit of time. Stash. Jinx! My guy! Power, because he felt like it, I guess. Does still get the kill, doesn't end up mattering. And the ult and beats forced out of Cupid. Really surprised to see Chronos Pendant on the Poseidon. I guess just wanting that ult up as often as possible. Really surprised not to see Doom Orb. Does mean he'll probably... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like Doom Orb has been good on Poseidon for a long time. It's like you could play Poseidon jungle and get Doom Orb, you could play him in mid and go Doom Orb. Now that Doom Orb is good, opting to go for Chronos Pendant doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
Just off the mark, ult was used defensively, but does look like the blue buff was invaded. Super ults in. Might pay for this is not tanky at this point in the game. Looks like the Kali come in to get the kill. Big Kraken coming out of the Poseidon. The Kali ult forced as it's a double kill on the return. Great rotation coming in from Ice Age. Looks like it might even be a 3-for-1 here. Athena trying to get that dash up and does fall down. Double kill for the Poseidon. Great rotation. All of a sudden, what looked like it was going all Underworld in that solo lane. turned around pretty hard for Ice Age.
And once again, Onk, having not gone that teleport, forced to slowly walk back to base. Definitely
Hey,
cannot feel good.
he has like 6% movement speed now. Extra movement speed. He learned. He's like, surely if I go Golden Blade, I have more movement speed.
That's
and then
true.
every time I'm forced to go back to base because I didn't buy teleport, I will be okay. Yeah, that's the problem with Cupid. That was, 3 months ago before they nerfed his ult. That was a good ult. This patch, Ishtar just walked out. So, unfortunate for the Cupid. Trades his ult for just Ishtar ult and loses the HP trade pretty hard. That could open up this if you're knowing the Crown Town does have the Thane being Poseidon, but not gonna be in a great spot to try and contest this. Venaton a little bit slow. Isn't going to catch the Cupid. Do you see the Doom Orb finished from the Ra? I assume that Zarzeth is going to go Doom Orb second. That's what they did last game. Probably going to see a similar style of build come out as Griff is looking at the ADC. Will get a kill onto Klopsky, doesn't even use the beads, probably correctly realizing that he is just dead there. So far pushed up without much HP. Saves his beads. Don't hate it. I think at that point you just kind of realize that you're dead, but also doesn't get the Fear No Evil out. So a little bit unlucky coming out from the ADC of Underworld. Trying to get Griff back on board as Jinx is still 4-1. Going towards kind of that one-shot Kali build. Something that I prefer. I know some Kali players still prefer that kind of golden blade attack speed style, but I think one-shot Kali build is just so strong.
Yeah, I definitely I'll agree that I think it's stronger, but something is just more fun about the chainsaw attack speed Kali once you get to late game.
It is very fun. I do see the Bombos Hammer. Patrick gets the shutdown onto Jinx. Huge raw ult eliminates zombie Billy Mays. That trade should go in the favor of Underworld. As they're able to get 2 more. The Zarzeth picks up 2 and Zarzeth a triple kill in return. Good lord, I'm assuming that was a 3-man Kraken. Didn't quite catch it there. As Kolopsky finds the solo kill onto Crown Town at the same time. Zarzeth just saved what looked like it was going to be a really good fight for Underworld. I'm assuming just a massive Kraken.
Yeah, this Poseidon is definitely online now. 5-1-1 has that cursed orb. Might be able to get something onto the Ishtar here as well.
Might be able to chase this out. Is so fast. One more auto, can't quite find the range. Is going to get a consolation purple buff. Here's the Athena taunt. Is correctly going to run away. Almost has ult back up because of that Chronos Bandit. Potentially try and look at Gold Fairy, but I'm just gonna go back to farming. Poseidon has been active. Really love it. To his credit, the Ross also been a part of 5 kills. Hasn't, found quite as many of the actual kills, which isn't per se his fault. Are you able to look at the damage numbers? I'm just curious how the tensions are going for the mid laners here. Yeah, it's a fair amount more damage on the Poseidon, but Raw not too far away. Zombie Billy Mays finds the kill. Looks like a Fear No Evil was expended that time, so at least not another solo kill. But Onk 0-4 on this Hercules. Doesn't look like he's actually that far behind, at least in XP, but 0-4 can't feel great for the mental at the very least.
Yeah, it looks like a solid 2,000 gold lead here for Ice Age at the 11-minute mark, which is not oppressive, but it's definitely still something that can start to snowball into more as the game goes on.
Definitely. Zar getting pretty large on that Poseidon. It does finally have the Aegis. Also, is able to secure their purple buff, but at what cost? loses his life for it as Czar finds another Kraken onto the Raw that had not backed Aegis yet. Kali ult force pound, going to fall down to Zombie Billy Mays. It's like Pyro, the perk boulder, is not in time. Double kill, or not double kill, 2 kills for Ice Age here, and the Pyromancer. That gold lead grows another 1,000 gold or so. Looks like Tier 1 Tower is up next for Ice Age. Extend that lead just a little bit farther. Another 750 gold in their pockets. They want a Tier 2! Big Raw nearly kills Zar. That's unfortunate for the Raw, but Zar doesn't end up falling there so low. Looks like they will get the tower. Might have chased a bit too far, but this Gold Fear is still up. Chatry though, there's ultimate speed from the Hell. So bad. Maze does fall down at the top was just off the mark there. Might have enough damage, but the Kraken turns it around, does fall, but at least kills the Hercules one more time. Unfortunately, the chase there from Underworld probably stopped this Gold Fury from going down. But yeah, Klopsky was trying to, but just not healthy enough on the side of Underworld. Chasing that support just a touch too far instead of going to the...
Got BJ gets out of Skizzy there, even with the ultimate not really getting anything heart bomb enough to scare him into using both relics.
Yeah, I don't think he needed the beads there. I guess maybe not realizing in the heat of the moment there that his Q does give that slow immunity to it. So don't think the beads are necessary. Aegis might have been to stop the heart bomb damage. But now both of those are down. Use that whole CC immunity. But Ice Age formed this Gold Fury. Underworld doesn't seem like they're too interested in defending it. Can't make their way past the zone from the Humbats. Humbats isn't even zoning, he's just going into the kill. Jumps over the ult from Kolopsky. Clean play coming out of Griff. Beads were not available there either on the Humbats, so that jump over the ult, really well played by Griff. Getting that kill onto Kolopsky. You see, the Hunters are starting to get their builds online, but Bladed Boomerang is not enough to trade against a 3-item Hunbat. Unfortunately for Kolopsky.
Hunbat definitely hit a power spike after finishing that Brawlers, having the Hydra's proc and all of the cooldown that comes from the Jotuns and the Hydras together, just going to be able to get the job done over the just 3-item Hunters.
Definitely. It's the 2 more second from the sun. We're going into, I assume, is that Desolation together. Could be another Divine Rune. Either probably fine in this spot. Raw going into what I assume is a Rada Tahuti 3rd item. There's been a criminal lack of Rada Tahuti today in every game. So if this is a Rada Tahuti 3rd item, which I will hold my breath because everyone's obsessed with Cronus Pendant today. I'll be very happy if this is a Rada Tahuti 3rd item. This style of build that Skizzy is going for is, in my opinion, is the best type of mid build right now. Just going 2 more flat pen, and then you get more flat pen or Tahuti or really anything that's not Chronos Pendant and Book of Off and Tablet. Don't think those items are as good now as they were before. Fortunately for Gizzy, is 3 levels down, so it might be a little hard to get to that Tahuti power spike. But once they're there, should do quite a bit of damage to everyone they hit. Kind of Poseidon and the Suitor secure the Pyromancer. Raw ult looks like it's maybe just a touch late there. Good attempt though.
Yeah, definitely. That was very close. That was exactly what you were talking about on the desk of how it's easier to step up with the Searing Pain Raw ult to get the steal. We almost saw it there.
Yeah, I don't think Ice Age had any idea Ra was there. Was standing behind that rock outside Pyro. That unless you have a ward, there's really not a way to know that Ra is standing there. That range is good. The Hurt 2 gonna be just off the mark, and Suitor should limp out of there just fine. Did go for the same Vital Amplifier, Berserker style, Shield style build that we saw last game. So, can't say I've seen a whole lot of attack speed Suitor, but Zombie Billy Mace has made it look pretty good.
Yeah, you say attack speed Surtur, and I just think that sounds like something I do in an arena game at like 3 in the morning. But bring it out to comp and make it work.
Don't know if that's actually the build on Suitor right now, or if he's just, it's something he came up with and it's felt good to him, so he's doing it. But I mean, it looks pretty good. He's still tanky at least, which is, in my opinion, just the biggest thing. That as long as you're still tanky, the attack speed, I mean, he is very hard to get off of carries. So, attack speed may be helping him do some more damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely working for him. It looks like he's about a level or so down now in the moment, but he's definitely been bringing pressure.
I shouldn't have brought up Ratatouille, man. It's not a Ratatouille, it's a Chronos Pendant. Someday we'll build Ratatouille. It's just probably the best mage item in the game right now. It's fine, guys. We don't need to build it. Anyways, Gold Fury going to leave Cold Fear and use the Fear No Evil to zone away Underworld. Zombie Billy Maze goes up into the ult, doesn't find a whole lot, and is just going to back off. Don't hate it. Get some vision, realize that Underworld is there. Just be like, yeah, that's alright. Maybe we won't fight. Yeah. Understanding that just because you ulted doesn't mean you have to go. Good patience for the Suitor. Here, a link in from the Kali. Kraken is good. Kali got into her ult. Shut down on Zarzif. Goes to the mid laner. Gotta feel good for the Ra. The Ankh comes out, trying to take care of Draco. Does end up falling to the ground, had to sustain this rotation. Looks like the Hercules is next up on the menu. Will fall down to the hell damage, actually. And all in all is, I believe, a 2-for-1 favoring Ice Age, but the shutdown on shutdown on Zarzif going to the Ra is huge, especially of how they changed the bounty system in 10-3. Not only is Ra getting a ton of gold for that shutdown, but his whole team is getting assist gold because of that new bounty mechanic. It's a really big kill for the Ra.
It definitely is. You see a little bit of a shift in the gold lead back towards the Underworld. Back into the Fear No Evil comes out and forces the beads on Ishtar. Pain off the mark.
Pain off the mark. Ishtar ult is good. The beads held onto by the Hun Bats, realizing that there wasn't a whole lot of follow-up off that Ishtar ult. Does force the beads and ult out of Ishtar for just Hun Bats ult. Favors Ice down available to that Hun Bats, and Pyromancer to go the way of Ice Age once again. Now have a bomb on both the jungler and the support. Bombs to the jungler is something I like personally. After get your support the first one, and if you're able to get a second one, do really like giving it to your jungler. It makes characters like Hun Bats, who don't traditionally have a whole lot of backdoor potential on Phoenixes. If he has Fire Giant and a bomb, he can, in Hydras, he can backdoor a Phoenix, which is kind of, can catch them teams off guard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're not used to having to worry about a Hun Bats, split pushing on the siege and doing that like a 4-1 split, when all of a sudden it's just the bomb's doing 1,000 damage to the bird, and Hun Bat's able to finish it off with a high shot, it can definitely catch you out and open up the door for further sieging. So I agree. I think it's a good call to have pick up the second one there.
Absolutely. Do you see the Crusher finish for the Hun Bats? Nothing too surprising. Getting a little more of that percent pen. along with some attack speed, never going to feel bad. Do you see the Divine Rune into the Spear of Deso for the Poseidon, wanting to make sure those Krakens hit hard? I'm gonna jinx myself again. I hope Poseidon goes to Hootie last. I don't know if they're going to, because at this point I think that item's just like been removed from the mid laner's shop. Fear No Evil gets the beads off the Ra. Probably feeling okay about that. Makes Ra a little bit more hesitant to walk up. Lopsky split pushing here. Are gonna pull fire drive. Zarza then onto the lens. No Kraken to confirm. Hercules near with a Ra ult as well. Looks like Ice Age are willing to 50-50 this. The Herc ult is good. I'm not sure if that's pull or Ra ult, but it does go down to the Underworld team. Jinx gets a kill onto Grip. I just don't understand pulling that in front of Ra and a Hercules. Poseidon healing split push. Good taunt gets Relics out of the backline. And Zombie Billy Mays falls down to Jinx. I don't understand that pull at all.
I don't either. You have no secure without the Poseidon there, and like you said, they have a Hercules and a Ra with so much secure. I understand someone needs to go and deal with the split push, but if you're doing that, there's no reason to pull the Fire Giant in front of them. And I mean, they paid the price for it. They lost 2 and they lost 5.
Yeah. Also, Griff had gone and gotten beats off the Ra, didn't even try and commit to the kill, which to me means that he's okay with forcing beats, waiting for 70 seconds, and then pulling the fire knowing that the Ra doesn't have beats. Instead, Zarzif gonna get forced to beads away. So, Crown Hound picks up 2 on the backside off a Ra ult that nearly kills if he has Rada Tahuti. Is dying. That's all I'm gonna say.
But you could argue that he wouldn't have had Searing Pain back up without that Chronos Pendant after using it to secure
But
fire.
he's also built Soul Reaver, which it's fine. Soul Reaver's a fine item, but it's not Rada Tahuti. It is 50 less power and less pen, and doesn't have Tahuti passive. I'm standing by my regard that Zarzeth is dead there. Ra has Rada Tahuti. Anyways.
Tell me how you really feel about Chronos Pendant.
It's Chronos Pendant at this point. It's just about the lack of Rada Tahuti. Zar's not going Tahuti either. She's going presumably Soul Reaver. And that last spot is Zar gets caught lazy backing. Unfortunate. I can't blame that one on Rada Tahuti, unfortunately.
I
As
don't
much
even
as I
know.
want to blame all of the problems in the world on Rada Tahuti.
I don't even know if Jinx needed the Destruction ultimate there. He has so much damage. It's that one-shot Kali build that you talked about. I mean,
I think
Zarxith was just gone.
Yeah, I think just insurance against Kraken. Probably wasn't sure if Zar had the Kraken up. I think she did, actually, but just without the beads, just got one shot. I don't know, I mean, he's already has it 50% of the way back up. Because he does have 30% cooldown. He has 40% cooldown and Bumba's Hammer. So actually, I don't mind at all. His ult's already almost back up.
That's a very good point. They'll have Fire Giant on 3 members, but Jinx is actually in trouble.
Is a trade out of junglers, but that trade should favor the Hun Bats getting the Kali out of the game late game. It should just be good. Herc is behind the entirety of Ice Age here. You could all come out. Does create some space. Ra ult on the mark against the Hell. As now the Athena dashes in. Zombie Billy Mays going up. Kraken is Aegis out. The dash away is good. Crowned Hound putting in the damage on this Cupid. Crowned had a great fight there.
He really did, and I mean, Ice Age stopping that Fire Giant siege, what I thought would be like a little soft defense on the tier 2, ended up going in their favor the entire way, getting a couple kills, stripping that buff off of the last remaining members, and forcing the time to run out on it. They still have 2 tier 2s after losing that first Fire Giant to a questionable pull, so I guess in the end it worked out for him.
Yeah, Underworld got a little bit ahead of themselves there. Their Fire Giant had worn out on that siege, so they were just kind of forcing it without Fire Giant momentum not going their way. See the poke coming out from the long range auto is so annoying to deal with late game. It's like Hachiman and what better is that Fear No Evil deletes Jinx, unable to get his ult off without those beads available. Huge win for Ice Age.
Definitely taking that Kali out of play, who has that one-shot potential on the 9, 5, and 5 so far this game, makes this Fire Giant much easier. They didn't take away any of the steal potential that Herc and Ra have, but at least they have their Poseidon here this time.
Item is here and has that ultimate build. Fire Giant getting low. Kraken does confirm Ra ult not quite back up. They do use the Herc Boulder to try and see if they can find one more steal, but doesn't quite hit the mark. Ra ult was used there to try and stop this chase, which I understand as a mid laner. Now you have no Ra ult to defend. Doesn't look like Ice Age are going to push it too hard. Probably going to look to go left. Pick up that T2 and left and then try for the mid bird, wanting to get the, the best bird that you can get here. Stop by, maybe set up a little bit of an ambush in mid for somebody pushing waves. But all of Underworld are going to that tier 2 and left. Understanding that's by far the most likely place that Ice Age is going to.
How do you feel about the Underworld siege defense as a whole? I mean, I know the Ra can bring a lot. It's enough to stop it as we...
it certainly just got better as Jinx wins the 1v1 that time. Does use his beads, potentially open to a few lawns. I think as long as Jinx has his beads up, he just wins that 1v1. So a little surprised that Griff took that. Perhaps Jinx actually forced it. Probably more likely. Maybe the 5v5. I think the siege defense from Underworld is pretty good. Raw heal, the sustain from Raw heal is great. Your Phoenix just kind of put it there and you do more damage and you're harder to, obviously the healing. Along with the poke from Ishtar, Underbird can be pretty annoying to deal with. Along with just the fact that when your frontline walks in, if they get taunted into a hook combo, that's a lot of displacement on the defense. Could potentially be a kind of hard siege. Probably going to have to find a good Fear No Evil. Realistically at this point, Griff probably needs to stop taking the 1v1 unless he knows the Kali doesn't have beats. Not a 1v1 that he wins. If Destruction goes off, I just don't think he ever wins the 1v1. Not by any fault of the players, but just the matchup that they found themselves. Will scrap over reward cost Athena about a third of her HP. He might be in trouble here though. The Fear No Evil goes through but doesn't ill Jinx. Is forced to ult. Griff's gonna be forced to back here. Crowd Hound finds another onto Draco. Melting frontline has finished that Deathbringer power spike. Kolopsky is not quite there yet. And Deathbringer kind of just makes you do more damage than everyone else can get. It's a little good. Oh, does land onto the Cupid. The right target is found. Ults have been absolutely huge this game. 5,000 more damage than anyone else in the game. Skizzy looked much better on this job than the Chang'e. Has really been finding the home with those ults.
Agreed, and what you were talking about the Deathbringer. It looks like Callow chose to upgrade his starter to Hunter's Cowl before finishing off that Deathbringer, with Leather Cowl still being what the Crowned Hound has. Do you think that going for that Deathbringer over the upgraded starter is the better choice?
Yeah, especially with the cowl being, especially with the cowl being bugged. I'm assuming he does not know about that. That's totally fine.
About that again? Yeah.
Yeah, it is not giving the correct attack speed or lifesteal, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Deathbringer is just the amount of extra damage you get with Deathbringer is just crazy. Makes it so you're critting the majority of your autos as opposed to about every other auto, and of course doing the extra amplified damage along with the anti-heal. It's so strong. Do you see the Hercules potentially in a little bit of trouble? Gonna eat about half his HP for free there. Did get his dash crippled, but it didn't look like Underworld wanted to chase it out quite yet. Beads are up for both junglers, which should favor the Kali having those beads for Fear No Evil. Really would like to see Griff try and find a team fight ult here instead of trying to take that 1v1 against the Kali. Zombie Billy Maze decided it's time to fight. He ults in. It's a little surprised he's tanky enough to do that, but it does work out for him. Griff finds it, kills Zarthith, kills Ankh, Jinx. He's still alive. Kali still has ult. He's going to try and make something happen here. Destruction pop, will the tick damage be enough? Gets the kill on Zarthith. Now running for his life away from the Cupid. No beats for the stun. Should fall down here. Autos are good for Crown Town. Should just be a bird. Draco's up in 20, don't think they have enough damage, just Crown to take the title, but will be a bird for Ice Age here.
Things coming out on the Fire Giant as well. Do you imagine that they're wanting to back up and try and do the Fire Giant?
Yeah, I think they definitely could. Alright, they are gonna back. I think they could have just gone and pulled it, but wanting to play a touch safer. I think there is a realistic world where they could have just ran straight back to that Fire Giant and potentially melted it. He is pretty much a full build hunter. Now he's a completely full build hunter. Would have been a risky though, in a game that you've been controlling for the most part. Probably not one gamble that the enemy gets there on time. But I mean, as you can see, they're not checking this fire. So if they had gone straight there, Underworld would not have known.
Looks like they do have a sentry in the pit there, so they might have had an inkling of what was happening.
Okay, they did have that ward in the fire pit, and I guess that makes sense why they weren't checking. The fire is pulled here, down to about half HP. Doesn't look like Underworld's really gonna get reach here. Not even gonna. Kraken is gonna come out here just to make sure. Raw really didn't get anywhere close enough to look for that. Kali potentially looking for a flank here. Ice Age is running the opposite way, so it should be okay. Oh no, Cupid could have gotten caught out there. Ends up not falling victim, but was a little bit ahead of his tanks there. Gotta be careful in the late game pathing around. Jinx that is not afraid to sit around a corner and just hope that a carry is out of position.
I was gonna mention that it was not only Kraken but also Fear No Evil used to zone to pull that Fire Giant, but there wasn't a fight immediately afterwards. Now with Ice Age taking the time to get this Oni Fury before setting up to Siege, and the amount of cooldown that this Hunbass has with Griff, it shouldn't be an issue, and he will definitely have this this Fear No Evil by the time. I mean, he already has it now. Before I can finish my thought.
They're both ready back up.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely don't mind using those. It is EFG, so I mean, even if there is a fight after, as long as, 4 of you get out, I think you're totally fine with dumping your ults. Especially knowing that you want to go left anyways, you already have the birds, you're going to be immediately trying to push down a bird. Use the ults, zone, get your free EFG, and then go, by the time you go over to left, you're going to have those ults back up, ready to go. Well is having the blink still available. Actually, every relic is still available for this fight. 5v5 mid relics. Looks like the hell is in. The hell is low. Ross Knight finds home. The ADCs are ADCing. Kills Griff on the push. The bird did fall. Hell is sustaining so much, but Griff does fall down there. Might stop any potential further pushes, though there's an Oni fire wave on the right side. Does look like it's gonna get taken care of by Underworld. Not the ideal situation. To repel the EFG push, are probably gonna have to wait for Griff to respawn here, and with the 3-minute Fire Giant, realistically, it's probably all Ice Age are going to get on this Fire Giant. Gonna have to do EFG again.
Grouping from Underworld here, stepping quite a ways up. Trying to see if they could maybe catch out someone by themselves, but it looks like Ice Age might be wanting to do the same thing.
Yeah, Billy Mays is pretty far up here. Kraken is going to be good against Globsky. Aegis looks like it came out a little bit late there. Destruction forced out from Jinx. He looks like he's going to get out. Billy Mays wants more, but his team not quite there yet. Poseidon is on its way, but going to have to settle just the one pick. He should open the door back up to Fire Giants. It should respawn about the same time that Klopsky respawns.
They're wanting to see if they can't get the right bird in the meantime as End of Days channel by Billy Mays, who is just gonna jump underneath that Phoenix signature.
Relic's forced out of the Rob. Beats forced out of the... What an ult from Zarzib. Sorry, not an ult. Just deletes Kali. Skizzy does return one onto Billy Mays. That bird's still standing. There's no EFG. Bird does go down. There's the Kraken. Griff takes care of Ankh, and that should be game. Just one Ishtar. He just gets deleted in the fountain. And it will be the 2-0 victory for Ice Age, the newly reformed Ice Age, getting their new jungler and solo laner last week. Are on the up and up after a lot of trades. Some unfortunate drops from some of their members have rebuilt their roster into a pretty good looking team.
Yeah, that was a fairly good, fairly clean match out of the Ice Age squad, managing to get the 2-0 victory over Underworld there. I do want to point out, since you were talking about it so much, the Ra did end up getting that Rod of Tahuti, and the moment that it came online, I saw it. Ra was doing so much damage just with the one. It was insane.
The only person that built Rod of Tahuti did 46,000 damage. Just saying. The Raw looked really good from Skizzy. Fortunately, not quite enough to find the victory as a squad. Poseidon also having a great game again, and hell, 16,000 player healing, might not, look like the most impactful support, but those heals, the attack speed, the cleanse, it all really adds up to so much presence in team fights, even if it's not through damage or hard CC.
Yeah, it really does. And Griff on that Hunbats may have died 7 times, only got 7 kills, but 17 assists really shows you how impactful that Hunbats was with those Fear No Evils in not only just setting up for the kills, but the zones that we saw around that Fire Giant pit. He was playing that pick very well to make sure that Ice Age squad was able to get this W.
Absolutely. And what could potentially be an important set there too, with Ice Age now improving to 3-4 and Underworld going to 2-5. I don't know the status of the Otters and Blight games today, but potentially could get Underworld into a spot where they're fighting for their playoff lives at the end of the season. Whereas Ice Age sitting at 3-4, definitely not safe into the playoffs, but feeling a lot better about it than Underworld probably is right now. Additionally, of course, being that 8th seed does, the difference between 7 and 8 seed, if these teams do end up, is the difference between playing the Going Ghost or Tanuki's team that have at least seemed a little bit mortal this season, have dropped some sets, versus that Jester's team that hasn't really been slowed down yet this season.
Yeah, I hear the Jester's mid laner really likes Chronos Pendant.
Yeah, it's my favorite item in the whole game. I wish every mid laner would build it every day. But all I'm saying, I don't build Chronos Pendant. Our team's 6-0. Coincidence? Totally not. But it was Yes, well, that is gonna wrap it up for us today on Camelot Smite League. Thank you guys for hanging out with us all day. Thank you, Dr. Shrew, for being a beast and hitting all 3 casts today. What a legend. We do thank you guys for tuning in. Hope everyone has a great rest of their weekend.
Yeah, we will see you all in a couple weeks for the next round of games, as next week was off for Easter. So thanks everybody for hanging out.
Are off for Easter. There is an arena tournament happening in Camelot next Saturday. I believe there is intention to cast that, so keep your eyes on social media and Discord for updates on that. And also consider signing up if you haven't signed up. It is open to everyone in the server, not just the people that are actually playing this season. So find some friends. So there's all the rules and stipulations can be found in the Discord server. And we will see you all in a few weeks.